Tonight, a Georgia man is standing trial for the murder of his wife, who was also the daughter of a convicted serial killer. Opening statements got underway today in the case against Christopher Wolfenbarger. This is an update to a story we've covered for years here on Channel 2 Action News. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie live for us now at the Fulton County Courthouse. And Mark, this case stretches back decades.
Yeah, I've been involved with this since 2003. The Bible talks about the sins of the fathers. Well, a court document says Melissa Wolfenbarger's remains were discovered in April and June of 1999, and that they were identified via dental records in March of 2003. And that's where Melissa's father, being a serial killer, becomes important.
What triggered the identification ultimately is the arrest of Melissa Wolfenbarger's father.
A cold case solved in 2003 involving 5 murders is now inextricably involved with another cold case murder for which Christopher Wolfenbarger is on trial this week in Fulton County Superior Court.
There is no evidence of these charges in this case, and that's why we will ask you at the end of this case to return a verdict of not guilty.
Carl Patton Jr. was the man arrested in 2003. We're told Melissa Wolfenbarger was his daughter, who had been the wife of Christopher Wolfenbarger. He was charged in a 2024 indictment with her murder.
Melissa's father, Carl Patton, committed a string of murders in the late 1970s.
We were there in 2003 when serial killer Carl Patton Jr. was unloaded in the custody of the Fayette County Sheriff's Office, already suspected of 4 killings in the 1970s known as the Flint River murders, because the first 2 bodies discovered were found in or by the Flint River, says retired lawman Bruce Jordan, who told us he led the investigation into Patton as the chief investigator for the Fayette County Sheriff's Office.
He pled guilty to 2 murders in Clayton County, 2 in DeKalb County, and 1 in Henry County.
Jordan says around the time Patton pled guilty to the 4 murders to which authorities had already connected him in Clayton and DeKalb counties, he told Jordan and prosecutors he had also killed a man in Henry County. And in that same meeting, he turned to Jordan with a request.
He said, "My daughter's been missing for years," and he said, "I didn't kill her. Would you put the time into finding her that you did finding me?" I said, "Well, I can try it." In
a 2003 story, we talked about how Carl's wife, Norma Patton, said she had turned to Jordan for help to look for her daughter, Melissa.
She stopped me and said, "Now, would you help find my daughter?"
He seems sincere.
Jordan says he went from one Metro Atlanta medical examiner's office to the next, looking for an unidentified body that might be Melissa. And later on the same day, he visited the Fulton County medical examiner's office. A GBI agent called him and said authorities had checked her dental records against a skull they had, and it was Melissa.
At some point in time, I no longer had standing in the fight.
Jordan says since he has been subpoenaed in the trial of Melissa's husband, Christopher, he's limited in what he can say, but because her remains were discovered in Atlanta, the case belonged to Atlanta police, who announced in 2024 they had arrested Christopher Wolfenbarger. We talked to Deputy District Attorney Vincent Fawcett last year.
I think the key definitely was the ability to re-interview witnesses and line the facts up to create the case. It's a circumstantial evidence case, but most cases are based on circumstantial evidence.
The extent of her suffering in life and in death had nothing to do with Christopher Wolfenbarger.
And at the end, that was defense lawyer Joel McDermott. Now, we're expecting Norma Patton to be a witness in this case. And from the defense's opening statement, I wouldn't be surprised if they go after her hard in cross-examination. Reporting live outside the Fulton County Courthouse, Mark Winnie, Channel 2 Action News.
And we'll be seeing what that cross-examination and that trial looks like. Mark Winnie live for us again, covering it for years. You've been doing this. Thank you.